Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon. Today we will discussing the day-to-day task in Commvault, focusing on the activities and the responsibilities that are often asked in interviews. This session will help you gain a clear picture, clear understanding of practical operations in Commvault and prepare you effectively for real-world scenarios as well as. So let's get started. So from the first slide, daily Commvault admin task. So if you are working as a admin, if you are preparing for the interview like a admin, so you need to know everything like a job monitoring, restore perspective, storage policy. Okay, so everything you need to know. Okay, let's jump to the next slide first, where I prepared some checklist. Okay, so there is a checklist. What you need to understand. So first thing you need to understand the COMSOL environment, monitoring backup jobs, troubleshooting failures, schedule and policy management, storage and media management, security and access control, reporting and documentation. And the last one thing is most important, that is the collaboration and the change management. So sometimes our backups are failing. Why they are failing? We need to check the logs. So why I mentioned the last line, that is the collaboration and the change management, because if there is if any activities are happen at the background, like some patching activity, like some upgrade activity, so there is a common failure like communication failure. Okay, sometimes client not able to communicate with our media agent, and client not able to communicate with our com shop. Okay, so in all the scenarios, we know what happening in our background, why the backups are failing. If there is a network blip, if there is a network issue, so we need to connect with our change management team or the respective team, that's and ask him, is there an activity happen on this machine or on this client? Because I am seeing this error, that is the communication failure between uh, our our Commvault tool, our backup tool to this machine. Okay, so there is a few things we need to understand. These are all coming in the troubleshooting part. Okay, the if you're talking about the schedule and policy management, I will discuss in deep. Okay, security, everything. Okay, so let's jump to the. Okay, I think you know this some pictures like this one. Okay, why I'm included this part, that is the understanding the COMSOL environment, because COMSOL is a nothing but is a logical group of all components, not all components, that is a Commvault components. Okay, so यहाँ पर ना मैंने एक पिक्चर भी बनाया हुआ है, that is the Commvault COMSOL. Okay, that is COMSOL. So first question in your mind, what is the COMSOL? What is the client? What is media agent? What is storage policy? Okay, so COMSOL is nothing. COMSOL is logical group of the components. Which components? Commvault components. And in our previous video, I already explained that what is the basic component of the Commvault. Okay, first thing, that is COMSOL. Second thing, that is media agent. And third thing, that is a client. Okay, so and this COMSOL, sorry, this COMSOL is connected to our client, and this COMSOL is also connected to our media agent. Okay, and if you check this media agent is connected to our storage policy, and this also connected to the our storage policy. And under the client we have the sub client. This is the part of the configuration. Okay, so if in one language, I'm just explaining about the client and how we, oh, okay, I will make one video how we take a backup of any clients. Okay, and then you can check, and if you want, then I can make a short video on the client configuration as well. Okay, first you need to understand the ComSub environment. ComSub, as there's mentioned, that the central brain. Why it called central brain? because because it manages the configuration, job control, reporting, storing the metadata, SQL database. It's brain, because it communicate over the our client computer, our media agent. And what is the media agent? Media agent nothing but is it you can call as a data mover. In one word, what you called? In one word, you called as a data mover. Okay, in one word you called as a data mover, because it moves the data from the client to ComSub and ComSub to the client in the different scenario. And what is the client? So basically client is VMs, database, file servers. So basically in environments we are taking the backup of database, we are taking the backups of VM and file servers, everything. Okay, I will explain each and every in the upcoming videos, how we are configuring the VMs, how we are taking the backups of VMs, how we are taking the backups of database, how we are taking the file servers. Okay, in this video we are covering only the top basic components, not big component, top basic questions regarding the day-to-day activities. Okay, first thing, how you can monitor, I will explain in the second line. Okay, the second most, that is the monitoring backup jobs. So daily monitoring backup jobs, how you can monitor. The first thing, you log in your ComServe through RDP or through command center and jump to the job controller. So the real time, that means the jobs which are running in the current scenarios and their scheduled time. Okay, the backup types is transactions, transaction log backups, incremental, full, synthetic. Whatever the jobs in running in their environment current scenario, they are all appeared in job controller. Okay, and the second thing, job history. Review the past job history, duration, and the throughput. Okay, common jobs types. I already tell that full, incremental, and differential. Restore jobs, file label, VM label, database, aux copy, moving the data from primary to secondary. Okay, here interview can ask the next question. What is the aux copy jobs? Okay, what is the aux copy jobs? So you can just refer that this is our primary and this is our secondary. Okay, move data from primary to secondary. That's the work of aux copy jobs. Okay, that means if we are taking the backups, okay, first the data move to their primary and primary moves all the data, some retention policy, whatever you said at the background at the storage policy level. So okay, what he can do is transfer all the data to the secondary one. Okay, what you check daily: failed jobs, error codes, long running or stuck jobs. Long running, we are seeing this error. I mean, we are seeing this error in the aux copy scenarios, or there is some upgrades going on at the background in your environment. Are there some misschedules? Misschedules, that means are the skip client, sometimes the database are skipped due to some upgrade activity in your environment or the environment. You can say if the interviewer asks that what's the aux copy, you are just saying that in monitoring backup jobs we are doing some job check jobs that is from job controller, job history, and the aux copy jobs. So the interviewer generally ask uh, that what is the aux copy jobs. So you just um, uh, tell them that moving data from primary to secondary is the work of the aux copy jobs. And the second question asked from the interviewer, how, what's the duration the primary data move the data the primary one moves the data from to the secondary, because maybe you stuck in at this point because because it depends upon the storage policy setting. So you just tell them that it depends upon the storage policy setting, that is the retention policy. Okay. So okay, let, yeah, there is the second, the last, not last, the third pointer, that is the troubleshooting part, failures. So first thing, how you can how you can find out these are the failures in last 24 hours. Okay, so for this, there is a report generate. Okay, what is there is a report that is last 24 hours. Okay, so generally you log into Comsub and fetch that report and find out how many jobs are failed in last 24 hours, and you just need to check why they are failing. Generally descriptions they are appear that. Okay, and the second thing, you can from the event viewer, log files, alerts, configuration, notification, job alerts in the storage policies issues. Okay, so what are the common issues? So first was the network disconnect. What is the network disconnect? I'm saying that there is some upgrade activity. Maybe there is a network flip, and at this time your backup is running and the network upgrade activity is going on. So what the scenario? Your client, let's an example that this the client A is not able to communicate the media agent M1. Okay, it not able to communicate with the media agent. So that is face that there's a network of connectivity issue. The backups are not happening. Sometimes we are facing that the storage policy vulnerability. That means library library mount went offline. There is a certain reason. What is a certain reason? Maybe the password issue. Maybe sorry, it is about the storage policy. Sorry, storage ability. So maybe the storage reaches about the 80% or the above the 85%. Okay. Sometimes there is some agent configuration in our environment. We are generally the SQL team asks that we are want a backup of that client, and unfortunately we are configure the different agent on that SQL machine, that the DBA servers are at the configuration of at the configuration time we selected the different client group. So that's the part of the misconfiguration. Okay, sometimes the license expiration. Okay, let's come to the fourth point, that is the schedule policy management. Here I am going to give a bonus point that it's for the everyone. When you change or update the storage policy at the client level, not at the sub-client level, then always try to run a full backup. Always try to run a full backup. Why I'm saying always trying to run a full backup? Because there at the background there is some indexing happening. Okay, so if you're not taking a full backup when you update your storage policy, then maybe you face some then you will face trouble, some backup jobs issue they are failing. Okay. Okay, so the storage policy define where the data is stored, and the mediation configuration, retention rule, deduplication, everything. And storage policy control when the backups run, is the daily basis, is the weekly basis, is the monthly basis. Okay, or every 15 minutes or every 1 hour, so it depends upon your application team. Mostly the DB, I'm the database team, need every 15 minutes, that is the transaction log backups. Okay, there is some rule, that is the data retention. So retention is nothing but how data you kept long, how long your backups are kept, like a 30 days, 1 year, 30 days, 2 year. I mean, it is an example only. Okay, I will explain each and every. I mean, what is the meaning of 30 days, one cycle? There is some cycle. Okay, if you are going to configure the retention, okay, they always ask what is the cycle, one cycle, two cycle, three cycle. Okay. Yep. The second thing, I'm jump to the fifth one, that is the storage and media agent. So disk library, primary uses, primary storage, cloud storage, and this is, I think, not applicable right now. Not right now, but in our environment, in some environment, we generally using the disk or the cloud libraries. And this one is very crucial to learn you before going to any interview, because many environment are going to use the cloud library. Cloud library, in cloud library, that is the everything is, I mean, there's the AWS, there's a GCP, Azure. So here you are also going the daily MCs. I will explain this scenario. This is a very interesting topic. Daily MCS3. Okay. Deduplication database. Okay. Here the next question asked from the interviewer. Maybe if you tell them that there's some storage and media management, then I think they generally ask what's it a deduplication database. I already explained in our previous video. You can go through and check the what is deduplication. In one line, you can say that reduce the storage by eliminating the duplicate data. Their name that deduplicate, that it eliminates the duplication. It eliminates the duplicate data from their backup. Okay. What you need to daily check: free space, disk library, mount points, mount point and request errors tab, because this is talking about the tape mount, DDB health and pruning. This one is very crucial part of this our jobs, our daily basis pruning, because if prunings are not happening, then your storage is full in the coming days, because there is a potential increase, there is a potential increment in your storage if the pruning jobs is not happening. So this is the very important part. Okay, let's jump to the sixth one, that is the security and access control. So why we are talking about the security and access control, you can check from the audit trail, track who did and when did. This is the main part, because sometimes what happening, it's a backup jobs are failing again and again, and we received multiple alerts, multiple incidents. Okay, this is only for the RC. I mean, to find the RC of any backup jobs. If anyone log into the com sub and change the storage policy or update the storage policy, you can exactly match from the audit trail that the timing and everything. Okay, for the specific permissions, I'm talking about the specific permission, that is sometimes the backups are failed, was failed or failing due to the communication. I mean the filer, NAS filer. I'm just pointing here the example, that is the NAS filer. I mean there is in cloud library or in cloud library mention some NAS path, and this NAS path is try to communicate with our filers, and the person one, or you can say A, log into the ComSub and update this password. Okay, update the password. Update the password, and this A person is forget to update the password in somewhere. Forget. Then what happened? Our backups are failing due to the password issue because the comms are not able to communicate with their filers, and here they need some ports to communicate. Okay, regular review access, and this is the not a measure, but maybe ask the question that there is restore testing. Why we need to restore testing? Because some DR activity in future, if there is um, DR activity, we are going to recover our database, we are going to recover our file or not. So this is only for the testing purpose. But you can add in your interviewer. I mean, you can in your interview. The next one. Already explained this one, why we need. Okay. This is the part. Reporting and documentation. This is the main part. Commvault offers the build report. There is a successful reports, storage report, job trending reports, and the most fetching report, that is the last 24-hour jobs. Okay, you log in and fetch this report and easily find out the how many clients are backed up in last 24 hours, how the success rate or the SLA and everything, and you can find out for the capacity trend as well. You can, I mean, you easily find out all the reports from the console. Okay, update the run book, record the manual intervention, share the reports with the stakeholder. That means your backups of failing last 24 hours in this time and this time. Okay, why they are failing? I mean, you easily ask them why they are failing. If there is some errors, let's an example for the database. For the database, okay. So there is just SQL. I'm just giving an example. That is the SQL AZ group. Okay, I will explain this one, this as well. SQL AZ communication. A SQL AZ is not available. Then what you can do? You just easily connect someone SQL team that we are facing this issue, that the AZ is not available. If there is, and ask them, is there an activity at the background? If yes, then please provide the change number, because you need to put your change number, put that change number in your service now ticket. Okay, that's the ninth one. I'm covering this point as well. Okay, why we need to mention this line? Because this is very important. Why we need to connect with the change management? Why we need to connect with the respective team? If our backups are failing, then there is issue in the com shop or the client or the media agent level. If media agent and comms is fine, then what basically we need to check? We need to check at the client level. For the client level, we need to connect with our respective team, their respective team, that the backups are failing. Okay, network sim bandwidth planning for compliance audit, everything. I mean, is cover the everything. So what you can do, just ask them, if there is an activity, please let me know. I will make a maintenance window. I will schedule the change during the maintenance window. Everything. I mean, you can create a blackout window. Everything. Oh, that's a blackout window. I will go through in the next or the in upcoming lectures. What is the blackout window and why we need the blackout window? I will include this point as well. But if you, I mean, if you add this point, blackout window, okay, so it's like a bonus for you. If you at the time of interview don't know the blackout window, just mention that I heard about the blackout window, and we put our put the client at the VM in the blackout window so that our backups are not failing, not failed, will not fail. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for the listening one, and let's please review and let me know if you need any other lectures, any other videos on these topics, and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you. Thanks for watching.